Creativity is such an addiction that I try to do everything I can to turn it off. I try to write and write and write and write and write and write and try to do things that really make the creativity monster stumble. But he's going, yeah, bring it on, Big Daddy. And I'm not the only person that travels through this journey. There are a lot of people who don't even think they're creative, and yet that monster is in there because it keeps them awake at night. A lot of it is anxiety. A lot of it is depression. What is your creative monster trying to say to you? Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. Man, I don't even know where to begin. Where I was as a writer this morning is beyond this guy, the guy here. Because when I write, I do take on a personality, because that personality taps into the energy of the universe. And the universe this morning, 64-degree day, and the animals are on the move. And if you don't think as a creative mind that you don't feel that, you do. It is that one thing you're tapping into so that you yourself don't have to rely on the Red Bulls or the cups of coffee and things like that. It's there for the taking. But the question is how do you get it? I believe you've got to have a vow to physically enact, to be present, to no longer whitewash the self-generated pits that are way too easy to sink within. Becoming aware, that's what you got to do. Staying aware, mindfulness, staying true, unloading transparency, making it real without damaging the walls of stability. That vow, that's all you got to do. You just got to make a vow to yourself. Learning who you are without breaking in two. The eyes in the mirror can't speak, while staring back, you just assume. It becomes amazingly clear that it's perfectly okay to speak openly about what's growing in the way we think. The vow. It comes with a challenge, though. A challenge with faithfulness. How long will it last during the daily storms? I mean, if you can't trust yourself, how can the outside steer clear of the painted face? The mask, the hider, the wanderer. It always must be kept away, or it's going to be a chaser or a follower. So you make the vow to lead, but not in circles, to protect, to be accountable, to teach. The vow. Heavy duty stuff, right? Poof. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. That is what daily writing is. Do you know how long it took me to put those words in ink? Not even 4 minutes. Because it fell from the universe. And the thing is that as a writer, you go, well, what are we going to do next? Now you have to write about what was given to you. This is The Daily Mess. You know, there are so many things I want to write, but to make it visible infects what is physical. It requires a lot of strength to take a side these days, to let others know where you stand. The goal is to lead by example, not through emotions. An age of endless questions. The decision makers aimlessly weaving between the stagnant waters of their protective moats and a news media that shares more opinion than facts. But here we are. There's a lot of noise in what we see, hear, feel, and smell. We're allowing assumption to be our daily writer, which then inspires the human soul to act out the role. Social media has provided the planet with a platform to release. But what do you believe? I often wonder if there's subliminal messages inside the backgrounds of those very cute videos that are blanketed with pets, butterflies, and humans falling on their face. It's very tough to take a side these days. It's very, very difficult to go research information because the news media is giving you what? Wait, how can this story be taking place and you've got 3 or 4 different news media outlets here telling you completely different stories? Only one thing happened, but you got 4 opinions. That's how we do our research. I grew up in the days of the Encyclopedia Britannica. It was a book. You went to it. But the thing about that book is that it got seriously outdated very quickly. You had to get that annual book every year to kind of update you. It's almost like the almanac. Have you picked one of those up lately? Big, thick monkey, about 6 inches thick. And it tells the history of so many things. And I'm blessed with the opportunity to talk with the publisher every year it's let out. And the thing is that it's like, how much information can we take in before we start creating our own opinion? in your daily conversations? Are you sharing a conversation, or are you just delivering other people's wacky news? And that's the kind of conversation that I have with my wife all the time, is that we'll sit there and we'll go, so what is your feel on this, and this that's taken place? And I'll go to the source of information, and I'll have that open conversation with her about, well, this is where I'm learning about this, and this. And what are you getting your news from? And how are you reacting to it? And we have those conversations daily. And we've been doing this daily since COVID-19, the lockdown, because we were getting so much stuff thrown into our face that it was like, hey, wait. Can we just sit here with no radio and television on? Can we sit here with nothing going on, but just us having a conversation? Let's just talk and see if we can develop not an opinion, but just talk about what's going through us emotionally. It goes all the way back to the first thing I was writing about the vow to physically enact, to be present, to no longer whitewash the self-guarded pits that are too easy to sink within, becoming aware, staying aware, mindfulness, staying true, uploading transparency. And then I wrapped it up with going the vow to lead, but not in circles, to protect, to be accountable, to teach. The vow. What kind of conversations are you having? Are they based on opinion? Are you angry? Are you depressed? And, depression doesn't mean that you've fallen into the hole. It just sometimes means I just don't feel right. I'm Arroe, and that's The Daily Mess.